Hey family, welcome to ABJ Community Services Inc., the Art of Community. ABJ is celebrating 28 years of service to the community. Wow, 28 years. I was there the day that the organization opened its doors on 79th and Muskegon in the South Shore community. ABJ was founded by Dr. Vivian R. Jones, and she named the organization in memory of her mother, Annie B. Jones, and that is my grandmother. Dr. Vivian Jones is my mother. So I am so very grateful. I've had the opportunity to keep the legacy going, keep it moving, to continue to build and make a difference in our community. And now here we are, April 14, 2021, celebrating 28 years. And many of you looking at this broadcast, our new podcast, hey, you looking at this, many of you have played a role in ABJ. Perhaps you were an employee, you were a volunteer, or just a good friend. You might have been a client, you might have been a member of the organization. Just so many ways to just move this organization forward. So we're here to celebrate. We are celebrating, and we're using this as the kickoff of our brand new podcast. And the podcast is called The Art of Unity. The Art of Unity. And so that's what we're going to be focusing on, because as you know, the Black African American community and all our identifications of our name, we've done so many things. We have done social services, behavioral health services. I mean, there's no shortage of things that we've done to make a difference in our own community. And I'll talk a little bit more about ABJ and what we've done specifically. However, as a whole and as a community, in spite of the things that we've been doing for decades and decades and even centuries, there's still something left that we must do, and that's unite. We must unite, and now is the time. There's no greater time. We can't go back into the past, and we certainly can't do anything about the future, at least not today, but we can certainly prepare for the future. And a big piece of that is unity, uniting, and I'm convinced that we can do a better job of not only talking about unity, but living it out. So, what has ABJ been up to? Well, historically, we were known as a child welfare organization, and we did foster care services, and we helped thousands of children to be returned back home to their families. Children that may have never gotten back home had it not been for the caring and committed services provided by ABJ Community Services. We offered food and clothing pantry, behavioral health services, substance abuse counseling and treatment, abstinence education, HIV and AIDS education, after school programs, tutoring, culture and arts programming, and so many programs. And as I think about all the years and all of the accomplishments, it's just really quite phenomenal. And I just have to breathe for a second as I think about even the board members that have been a part of the team. Yeah, it's been a great journey. And in 2013, when Dr. Vivian Jones retired, I unknowingly came back to ABJ in 2011, unknowingly came back to help with some administrative work and to be an administrative support, not knowing that only 2 years later that I would be named the executive director, at that time executive director of the organization. I had no plans for that. I was actually doing my own organization and doing my own thing as an artiste, singing and dancing and teaching the young people about singing and dancing and theater and the arts and all of those great things. And I found myself back at ABJ. But I am so very happy about that. In 2013, I was named president, CEO of ABJ. So I am second generation president of this great organization in the South Shore community of Chicago. So now, what are we up to today? Well, I hope honoring my mom's legacy and the great team that she built of 100 young people working in their own community, building on a great legacy of giving back, doing for ourselves. And today we are more of a community empowerment center, focusing on empowerment, advocacy, and helping young people become change agents in their own community. Yes, stepping up to the plate and knowing that you can do something. And so many of you out there, we look at these things that are going on, the deaths and the killing and murders of our people, the public lynchings of our people, and how it's playing out today. And some people just shake their head and say, And many want to know, well, what can I do? What can I do to help? Well, that's what this show is going to be all about. This podcast is going to focus on that. The art of unity. What can each person do to make a difference? And so some of the things that we're doing at ABJ is that we have our ABJ Civic Arts Circle training, where we're working with young adults ages 21 to 35 years old, training them in entrepreneurial skills, health and wellness, inner healing, also, just grit. One of the things that I recognize that young people really seem to need is a bit more grit to be able to follow through on things that they're working on, not just see an idea, but know what are the steps it takes to bring that idea into fruition, to bring it into the present world. So really, in a nutshell, meeting young people where they are and helping them to just get unstuck. Because I just feel like I've been working with youth since I was a youth myself, basically. And what I find is that a lot of our young people, you're so brilliant. I mean, you are brilliant beyond words. You are so brilliant. What I find is that because of the circumstances of our community, we don't have that kind of like silver spoon, so to speak, just already set there for you. So you have a lot of things you have to figure out. How you're going to get from point A to point B, point C to D. How are you going to do that? Well, that's a part of what we're doing with the training. And helping young people to connect and build your own network and your own circle. So it has just been tremendous. We just had our first cohort, and they graduated on Dr. King Day 2021. And we couldn't think of a better day for our graduation, and we named it Ubuntu. Ubuntu. I am because you are. So that's one of the things we're doing, and we're focusing very heavily on peace building and public safety, something that is near and dear to my heart. Unity, peace building, public safety. There is nothing acceptable about our children being buried. There's nothing acceptable about our children being shot. So we are here to make a difference. We're partnering with the Original Men in Black, also known as OMIB. And it is such a phenomenal thing to see a group of young men saying that they're not only just saying it, but getting out there to take control by patrolling their own community. It is an honor to work with this group of young men that are volunteering their time, giving up time on their weekend to go out and be hospitable, just to show some humanity to the people around them. So ABJ, we're all about empowering our people, and we are unapologetically doing that work. We're focusing on the Black African American community like never before, because we refuse to be the underlings of anyone else. We refuse to be dominated. We refuse to be less than, because the fact is we're not less than. We are more than. We are more than. So please follow us. And I think that sometimes I hear people say thumbs up. I don't know if that's appropriate or not. I'm going to really learn how to do this thing. But give us a thumbs up. And again, we want you to follow us every week. Again, I'm Pastor Victoria C. Brady, and I'm just honored to be here with you this evening. And I actually have a treat for you. Another thing that ABJ is up to is that we are one of the conveners of Big Mama Movement Chicago. And we have one of our own Big Mamas here today. And this lady is phenomenal. This Black queen is phenomenal. No one can talk about unity the way she does. And so we're going to bring her up and she's going to talk to you. And she's got a nice little surprise for you called the Willie Lynch rap. She's got a process of how we're going to undo the stuff that has been done to us. Because again, I'm telling you, I want you to know, we're not going to just sit back and sit still and keep taking what we've been taking and then think that things are going to change. We're going to do what's necessary. And if there's any children out there, any teenagers, because that's my lit, teenagers, young adults, and even the little children, that's my passion. Other than peace building and unity building, these young people, I hope that you're listening, because I want you to know that your community is rising. We are rising and we are uniting, and we're going to change these conditions and get some things done. You will not be allowed to just live in fear and to be tormented daily and wonder if you're going to make it through another day. I want you to know that your community is standing up, and we just need to unite, join forces, and do what is right, our rightful duty to take our place on this planet. So I'm excited to bring Miss Yvonne Pugh, one of our own big mamas from the Big Mama Movement Chicago. She's going to come in and talk to you a little bit, and she's going to share with you the Willie Lynch rap. Hey, come on, Miss Yvonne. Come on and join me in the house, so to speak. Big Mama in the house. Yes. So how are you? How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. Pretty good for an old lady.
Pretty good for a what, lady? Let me hear you say, woo, woo. Ain't no such thing as old, is there? They say age ain't nothing but a number. So how are you today?
I'm doing really well, but I'm going to claim my status as old because.
Okay, well, you know what? You know what? And hey, I'm here to say that you can express yourself however you want. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, because there's a lot of wisdom that comes with being able to say, I'm an old lady.
Mm-hmm.
I see the beauty of it, I see the wisdom of it, and I see the joy of being able to be around long enough to even say, I'm doing well for an old lady.
Mm-hmm.
So I honor that.
Okay.
I honor
I
it.
like the way you put things, Vanessa.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Miss Yvonne, I want to say that you're a person that I've met in recent years in my work, and particularly the last 6 to 8 months, you have really, really been a great mentor to me and have roped me in on some things I needed to be roped in on, some emotional things when I get upset and kind of get myself all worked up and out of pocket. You like, okay now, baby. And you have truly just been so wonderful, and you are wonderful. I listen to you, I hear what you say, and that's why on our first podcast, I thought it would be so great to have you with me to help celebrate ABJ's 28 years along with all of our family that's out there listening. So what I want to start out is just tell us about Yvonne Pugh. Just tell us who you are and a little bit about yourself. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about the Willie Lynch rap. So I'll just turn it over to you, and you can just share with us whatever you like.
Well, I don't have that much to say, but the reason I appreciate that term old is because I have been around a long time. I'm 75 years old, which is really hard for me to believe how that big old number is attached to me. But I have to claim it, and then I try to take a little responsibility for being able to claim that number. Then hopefully I've learned a few things, and then it's always been my nature to share. So that's my thing. I was a teacher before I got a license. It's always what people said was going to happen with me, or that I was. So I spent my life going around, moving around, meeting people, doing things that help me learn a lot of things that life is about, and I'd like to share what I learned so that we can all move forward together, you know.
Oh, yes. Well, as I said, I work with young people, and I remember very clearly, even before the term pay it forward, I always said that you want to come back. Come back to the place that nurtured you, the community. You know how many stars that have a star? There's this notion that a star is born. You know how many stars are born in the church, in the temple, in the mosque, just from people saying, "Sing, baby, sing that song, baby," and that level of confidence that comes from that, and then the extra nurturing and the mentoring and helping to shape those gifts and those talents. You're right. It's definitely important to share, and then in sharing to give back, particularly to the community that have given each of us so much. I know that I gained a lot, and a lot of my gaining actually has been in South Shore. I attended school in South Shore. I've worked most of my career in non-for-profit has been in South Shore. I learned how to twirl a baton in South Shore. I mean, I could just go on and on and on, but yeah, there is something to be said about sharing, and that is your nature. That's one of the things that I love about you so much, is that you willfully share, and you really don't let anybody else get you off course, because when you talk about unity, I have seen you redirect back around and go around that way and back around, but it always comes back to unity and what we must do. So as you think about unity, what are some of the things that you think is important for, I will use the term the Black community, the African American. We know that we have a lot of identifications of ourselves today, but that's the term I'll use. But what do you see as some of the key things that we can do as we look at unity? And what does it mean to you?
Well, the main thing you mentioned there that is a spark for me all the time is unity, and which is included in community. And when I grew up, our community, I grew up in a neighborhood, and so the things that were missing, that seemed to be missing today, was the unity that was in the neighborhood that made things happen, that have had people relate to each other, and it seems to be that a lack of that today. So when I was a kid, we lived in a neighborhood. I'm from the west side originally. I lived the first 11 years on the west side, the next 11 years on the south side, next few years after that back west, and then South Shore. So I claim a good part of Chicago. And what a community is the thing that I always see that happens. Why is this community that I'm living in different from the other one? When I go to the store and look for certain things, I often have to ask the managers and everything, is this missing in my neighborhood because it's my neighborhood?
Yeah.
So the unity and the things that happen in the community are so important. It's what makes a person in a lot of instances. And what is that phrase? You don't have to be in the hood. The hood doesn't have to be in you because you're in the hood. I don't know how that goes, but the thing is, the neighborhood quality is lacking is in so many communities nowadays. I think integration was the thing that really spoiled our upward mobility, because people got in the neighborhood, you made things happen. We had all kinds of stores in the neighborhood when I was growing up. But there's a reputation of there just being the liquor store and maybe the hairdressing store, if they still have that. So a few things that were missing that made a whole big neighborhood.
Right.
And a friend of mine said that in the neighborhood you live in now, everybody goes to work, but over here, these children don't see anybody going to work. Factors like that have always been important to me. And then I taught for many years primary grade, so I like to make things simple, very plain, bring it down to where we 4 and 5 year olds can understand it.
Yes.
But lacking those things in the neighborhood makes a difference in person's lives. And I stood and watched kids sometimes flip on the playground, and I was thinking, gee, without training and experience and everything, he's going to be using those skills to flip up to the second floor to rob somebody if we don't have he hasn't had an opportunity to do a positive thing with the skills he has.
Yeah.
So that made me think of all the things that were missing in the neighborhood for them to be able to experience and begin to wonder about and see if they could do that too.
Yeah.
So it's things like that that remind me of what you say, unity, you and I.
UNITY. UNITY spells a unity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to pick up on the integration. So many people critique integration, and it makes me a little sad. I think that integration needed a stronger follow-up plan, where if we were going to integrate, we didn't integrate to the point that we gave up what we had.
Yes.
I don't know that integration in itself was a bad strategy. I just think that we did not plan the full strategy to maintain what we had. And the reason I say about that integration in itself may not have been a bad thing, because as I think about this country, our ancestors built it.
Mm-hmm.
We actually built this entire country. All the systems were built by us. And so I would think that people that were into integration were thinking about it as they are just claiming their piece of the pie, so to speak. What was rightfully theirs. Beyond we're equal with you, or we want equality. I think beyond that, I think that integration was one of those things that said, I deserve to go to this school because my ancestors helped build it. When President Obama was in the White House and Michelle Obama, there was this sense of pride that they were in the White House and the Capitol and all of that, and it was built by slaves. So I'm not sure. So many people critique and even criticize integration, but I think that the plight of our people has been such that we've tried many, many things. There's no shortage of things that we've tried. We think about the work of Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and we could just go down the whole list, the Noble Drew Ali, and so many others. We don't have a manual on how to get ourselves out of this situation. We don't have a manual, but we do know that we have never fully united. And that's been a big piece for us. Mm-hmm. And I believe that in this day and age that can help bring us over, and it can help make a difference. And you wrote a rap that deals with that, of how we can break the cycle of Willie Lynch and whether myth or real, what was done to us. Mm-hmm. So would you mind just sharing a little bit of that rap with us right now? We would love to have it. Uh-huh. You're our own special big mama with your own special rap. Okay. So I'm going to turn it over to you if you don't mind just sharing a little bit of that rap with us right now.
Well, okay, so if you'll remind me that I want to make a point about the fact that our condition today is because everything that horrible that's happened to black people is the result of somebody else's plans. So we definitely have to begin to think like that. Going back to the idea about community, when you look here that we can't go swimming in this pool over here, I said, why don't we build a pool in our own neighborhood? Why don't we build a pool? So that's what I think about the integration part, is that we kind of drained our models, and they went off to another place, and we didn't have the model and the inspiration that helped us.
Lost a little bit of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have to learn the fact that we must make plans to make things happen. Mm-hmm. And since the whole history of this country has been a concerted or orchestrated plan to not allow us to disenfranchise, not allow us to take the part in the equity that should be part of this country, because we are the backbone.
Yes, we are.
We built it.
We do.
So we definitely should use it. So because the idea of Willie Lynch is whether, as you say, whether he's real or not, the syndrome there to divide us and keep us divided and not allow us to reach our potential in this country is what prompted me to think about how we are disunited and what does it take for us to become united. So if this works, I could do it.
Okay.
But the title of it, That a Rap, is really rapping Willie Lynch.
Rapping with it, Lynch. Thank you.
And so it was just an idea of what I thought would really make the difference in our whole situation. Willie Lynch said a year was all it really took to make a slave for all time. Or maybe 300 years, but really any time to be a slave is just a crime. And after 300 years, you know that time is up. And since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan. If we want to be free here in Freedom Land, I say we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. What's the plan about? Come on, jump up and shout, because you know we can be loud. We need a plan about everything so we can make our nation proud. Money, finance, relationships, love, knowledge, education, a plan or a covenant, boosting our labor, our talent, our style, so we can put old Lynch's 1-year plan on trial. Boosting our media 1,000 times more so the info gets across from every shore to shore. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. Get the kids off the street, give them some history, show the parents the way to be what they can be. Make a plan for our money, pool some of it so that we create jobs instead of taking. And when the president says, what must we do for you? We say, here are the plans, we'll help you see them through. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. So, you got the idea on what it takes to be free? We need a plan to respect, from me to you to me. Because the world copies everything we say and do, but no respect comes to me until it comes from you, brothers and sisters. And all parts of the plan don't have to take 2 years, but we need to get started because we're way in arrears. Because after 300 years, you know that time is up. Since the year 2012, we say enough is enough. So we need a 2-year plan if we want to be free here in Freedom Land. I say we need a 2-year plan so we all can be free here in Freedom Land. Freedom Land, Freedom Land. Freedom Land, Freedom Land. Freedom Land, our agenda.
That's our agenda. Woo! That's what I'm talking about. I love that. Love it. And yes, we need a 2-year plan. And I like when you say, now you know that time is up. You know. And that's the thing. That's the thing that we have to realize. The gig is up. We are not going backwards. Mm-hmm. We are going forwards. Mm-hmm. That is amazing. Mm-hmm. So I hear you talk a lot about block. BLOC. Tell us a little bit about the block, Miss Yvonne.
Well, what does it say? The definition is a group of persons or organizations that form a unit for a common interest. So we see that in the news and everywhere, so many things happen, and the block of people that are concerned with the issue, they get together, they protest, they make a lot of noise about it. They bring what they think are their solutions to the powers that be, and they get attention and get a lot of resolution. Well, because we don't consider ourselves a block, there's so many of us that we're apart from each other. We think we're better than each other. We think that certainly not, a group. I'm not associated. Well, it was a whole orchestrated plan to divide us. from the outset of this country. The whole plan was to make white people rich and landowners richer.
Yeah.
And so they use the most vicious treatment of humans to, carry that out. And so for these last 300 or 400 years, that's why we are in this condition that we are. So until we realize that we are a block, the whole world recognizes us as a block, but we don't get the benefits for it.
Mm-hmm.
We can be judged as a block, but just not able to get the benefits.
And isn't it crazy how that's this whole thing in the cities, like you on my block. They use this word block,
Mm-hmm.
and not knowing the power of the real block,
Mm-hmm.
that we all are a block together.
Mm-hmm.
Not just your BLOCK,
Yes.
but the BLOC.
Yes.
How we pool our resources. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of that, I want to share a couple things that we're doing at ABJ. Our ABJ Civic Arts members that just recently graduated, they're raising funds for a little girl named Serenity. She contracted COVID, and as a result, she's now on dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
And so many of our children are being gunned down and killed and buried. And we basically, you could say, we sit by and we see this happening week by week. Well, those children, lives are being lost, and here we have the opportunity to help one of our own to live.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found it so touching that a group of our young adults took it upon themselves to launch the campaign. She has a GoFundMe page, and they launched a campaign to help raise money for the little girl who needs the kidney. And I think that as we become this block of people, that we raise our consciousness and our humanity towards one another, and we begin even more to look out for what the needs of our people are. This little girl didn't do anything. COVID found her. She was living her life like any other little girl, and now to be in a situation where she has to have dialysis sometimes, I'm told, sometimes 5 days a week. 5 days a week. So I commend what the young people are doing, and that's what the circle training is all about, helping them to become civically engaged. Not saying, oh, that's a shame, oh, boy. No, but getting involved and doing something about it. And I heard you mention pooling our resources. Now, Gideon 300 Fund is a fund that a group of us in the community started together, and it is my brainchild. It's not necessarily attached to ABJ, but it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I've said a few things tonight are dear to my heart. This project is very near to my heart because it does center around unity. So what we're doing is 300 of us are donating $300 each, which will bring us a total of $90,000, so we can get our own full service grocery store or whatever business endeavor that we choose in our own community. It's that practice that you talk about. We have to practice these things. Well, Gideon 300 is a way for us to not only practice, but to bring something concrete to our own community. And that seed money of $90,000, it can make a big difference. So ABJ is really, really involved, and we're committed. And I have to thank the staff. It's not just Victoria Brady. I have to thank the wonderful staff that is stuck with us, the ones that have come on board with us, that really believe in our mission. And in a nutshell, our mission is simply to use the arts to make a difference and help young adults become change agents in their own community. And if you want to reach out to us, you can do so at www.abjchicago.org. Again, that's www.abjchicago.org. We 28 years old. I guess that would be almost like a millennial. ABJ is a millennial. We are a millennial. I remember when we were teenagers. I remember when we were a baby, because I had the privilege of being there the day that we started, and I can still see us in that storefront we were in, and we had about 5 telephones, and we couldn't transfer the call, but you push the button for line 1, push the button, all those things. I mean, we have been on a journey, but I know from impact statements that we've gotten from young people those that come back, and I just know that we have helped so many, and people have gotten on their feet. People have been able to sustain themselves, and as I said earlier, children are now at home with their parents. They're older now, of course, but we help set a foundation where they could just have a chance at just a great life. I almost said a normal life, but I don't even want to say a normal life. I want to say a great life. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in what we're doing, keep in touch, because it's gonna be off the chain. We're bringing the tribe in. We're bringing our circle members in. They're gonna be doing spoken word. We're gonna be bringing in music and all kinds of things. So we don't want you to think that, oh, this is just gonna be talk. No, I work with youth, and so I'm never that one that's just gonna do a whole lot of talking. Now I may be doing a lot of talking tonight because it's our anniversary. But just know that there's more to come. And we are doing not only the art of community, but the art of unity. So again, thank you so much for tuning in with us this evening. Look for our weekly podcast. It's going to be happening every week. And I believe we're looking at every Thursday. This one came out on our anniversary as a special kickoff. But look out for us. And one thing I want to say to you is that know that you have a power within yourself that you don't even know that's there. So many young people have said that to me. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't think I could do that. I didn't realize, and I have seen it so many times. So you have got to know you're here on this planet, and that means you're power-packed. You're power-packed in your own unique way. And all you have to do, if you haven't done it already, is get involved in a caring, committed organization, a church, a mosque, a temple. Find your spot, find your Eden, and together we have the power to persevere. I'm Pastor Victoria C. Brady. I got Big Mama in the house. We both part of the Big Mama Movement Chicago. Look out for us. You can check us out on www.bigmamamovementchicago.org. BigMamaMovementChicago.org. And we want to connect with Ice Cube and P. Diddy and others that have all these great agendas, because we're going to bring those agendas together, and we're going to fight, and keep the struggle alive and become that block. So tune in next week. We'll see you then. God bless you. Stay strong, and know that ABJ cares about you. Chicago.